This is 8.3, Analyzing Geometric Sequences in Series, video number 2. We're going to write a rule for the nth term in a sequence. Okay, so let's start off with some core concepts here. So, if we want a rule for a geometric sequence, we are given this little formula right here. So, the nth term of a geometric sequence with the first term of being a sub 1 and the common ratio, which is r, is given by a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So, if we know our first term is 2, common ratio is 3, we plug in first term in for a1, we plug in the common ratio for r, and then we have our formula. So, it's as easy as that. So let's give this a try. We're going to write a rule for the nth term of a sequence and then find a sub 8, so our 8th term. Alright, so we can see immediately, there's my first term. There's a1, okay? Now I need my common ratio. Well, what do I multiply each time to get to the next term? Well, 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 3 is 45. 45 times 3 is 135. So I know my common ratio is 3, since I'm multiplying by 3. Okay, so this a1 is 5. The formula we're plugging it into that we just showed in that core concept is our a sub n equals a1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So we're going to plug in what we have. So an equals 5, that's what we said a1 was, it's our first term, times r to the n minus 1 power. So there's my rule. And now we need to find the 8th term in the sequence. Okay? So I want a sub 8. So when n is 8, I want to know what I get. So I'm just going to plug 8 in for n. So this equals 5 times 3 to the 7th. Okay? And let's see, plug all that in, and we get a big number, 10,935. That is the 8th term in this sequence if it keeps going. So we have the first 4 terms, and it keeps going from there. Okay, let's try number 4. Alright, so I can immediately see a1 is 88. That's my first term. But I need r. Okay? And if you have trouble remembering what you need, remember the formula. a1 times r to the n minus 1 power. Okay? So the only things we don't have are a sub n, which that's just the rule. That's saying this is the rule. So I'm not even going to plug something in for that. A sub 1, first term, r, common ratio, and n makes it to where it's my rule. So we leave the n and the an alone. So I know I only need these 2 variables there. So what do I multiply 88 by to get to negative 44? Well, if you have trouble seeing that, you can take negative 44, divide by 88. I get negative 1/2. So I can see 88 times negative half is negative 44. Negative 44 times negative half is 22. 22 times negative half is negative 11, and so forth. So here's my first 4 terms. But let's write our rule so we can find any term. So I know a sub n is going to be 88 times, in parentheses, negative 1/2 to the n minus 1 power. There's my rule. There's no simplifying. You just plug in your a1 and your r. Okay? But now we want the 8th term. So I want a sub 8 here. So I'm going to take my rule, and instead of n, I'm going to plug in 8. So I get 88 times negative 1/2 to the 7th power. Okay? Plug all that in. Make sure to leave, if you're plugging in your calculator, that you leave the negative 1/2 in parentheses and take that whole parentheses to the 7th power. Otherwise, that negative could get messed up. So, and I changed it to fraction. I get 11 over 16. Okay. All right, I want you to go to the practice and do problems 3, 16, 17, and 22 and move on to the next video.